Hello. Hello, Division 1. I hope you're having a good one. If not, Division 1 action around Sailport. Surely we'll change that. Surely. Just gonna post the link for the stream. Alright. The stream is up. We are live. Just gonna bring up Twitch on my phone. Indeed, the Twitch is open on the phone. Welcome. I don't have chat open quite yet. I'm just gonna finalize my notes, which are all mental notes today because I don't have a pen in my room. I can be able to find one. Alright. Hello. Okay. I have chat open now. I'm going to be joining off any invites that I've got. F3 to go to there. Invites and requests. I haven't got anything right now. Let's see, is anyone in a lobby? It's a bit of an issue. Alrighty then. Today is a monumental, possibly a monumental day, not just in the history of Division 1, but in the history of HRA, because history truly beckons in the fact that the win record could be broken today. There is the invite. Thank you, Kusky and Island. You guys are legends. That should not work. There we go. F2. Spectate. Don't want to be in a car this time. And this is truly a monumental one, seasons-wise. In the fact that the win record can go today. Yes, there has been more wins from someone in season 3. But they only got 6, not 6 Grand Prix wins, 5 Grand Prix wins, but they did take home 2 sprints. So technically 7's the win record, but as we all know, sprints are technically counted as qualifying in the modern day format, so that's what we're going to do. And so, for all intents and purposes, it can go today by the hands of a driver who has been incredible this season. And even if he doesn't get it, even if he cruises from the title from here, which is looking likely that he will, it's been a miraculous, well, not miraculous, he's been in control the whole way. An incredible season. The win record he currently has equalled with George Plaster from season 7. From season 1, Zaki Beast. And from season 3, the very man who is in this lobby, Reese, got 4 wins on the spin. And that has been equalled. So not only can the win record go, the consecutive win record can go. It would be 5 in a row, 7 in a season. Lazy stares will cook all of you. So this truly, history beckons for Kuski. If he were to win today, it would mean that he has the win record. He has the consecutive win record. Currently leads the championship by 29 points over Kevin Quattro, sorry. So we're here for the race, we're here for the good vibes, but we're also here for the chance to see 2 records at the top flight go. Both records that you really want in a season. Highest wins of all time and the most wins in a row. 2 wins that Verstappen broke in a Red Bull last year in this very car. And records that, although A5 cannot get the he can actually get the win record in terms of amounts of wins in a row if he wins every race from now on. That being 10, 11 and 12. No, he'd equal it from now onwards. But A5 needs 1 more to break the Division 2 record. Kuski needs 1 more to break the Div 1 record and go even further than any driver has ever gone in this division. It's going to be close. Indeed. But Quattro may play the team game especially today because he, by his own admission, will probably be settling into a let Kuski win the title mode or help him win the title. And then next season, guns blazing. But for now, I've got more words to say on Kuski, but I'm gonna save that for rounding off the season. But George will be one that he'll be looking to dethrone it all and derail it and get his first win on the board this season. He's got his connection issues sorted out, so he will be the rival. And although he had not the pace in qualifying, Kasky made a couple mistakes in quali. Invalidated that last lap and couldn't get the time together to sling it on pole. Of course, looking at his race pace, he most likely would have. Kasky tends to favour race pace over George these days, who tends to be lightning quick in qualifying. Just quickly going to turn my brightness down to the back up. We're in. And we're in for history today. We don't. 15 minutes until rain around Singapore then. That's a bit interesting, a bit spicy, some would say. So we are on board with the man who currently holds the record. That Kasky will be looking to usurp here. Wins in a row. Kasky equal all time with Reese B07 in terms of wins in a row, and equal all time with Zaki Beast and George. So 2 record holders on this grid he's tied with. George, of course, broke the win record in that incredible season in the fight with Maz. The last 2 races weren't actually documented on the championship standings page, but I know by the gap heading into the final round that it was a win for George at the penultimate round, which put his total up to 6. I'm going to try and be more hot on these statistics throughout seasons. We're closing on them. As Reese on the first flyer of the night then. He goes purple, sector 1. I believe Lazy might actually be... Oh, let's follow Lazy then for running in chat. And see what the Alpha Romeo can do, as I'm having big lag spikes. As Reese retires. He's crashed. Wow. As Lazy passes the site of the crash. So does Hampan. No issues there. Lazy dives it through the awkward chicane at the end of the lap. It's the corner, final corner. You chuck it in, dip it down again. Some people opt to hold it in 6th just to keep revs down. He goes fastest with a 129.2 then. And the venture marker is set. Next across the line will be Hampan in the Ferrari. Goes P2, 30.7. So a decent lap from Lazy there, it would seem. And Tronzik goes P2. Lazy indeed with one hell of a lap. He wasn't joking about that TC setup, huh? George goes provisional pole. Kasky beats it. Koch slots in ahead of Lazy. Some way off the leaders. Quattro P3 then. Sammy Do on a flying lap as well. It's invalid for Edvir. Sammy dives into the pits. Doesn't think it was good enough. Andreas, final car on a flyer. Rounds the last corner. Holds it in 6th. Flat out to the line. Goes P6 in the Ferrari. Decent lap from Andreas. Room to improve. But a solid banker for the Ferrari. Speaking of solid bankers, this man is determined for it to be most wins in a season. And strangely enough, he's done that without a single fastest lap to his name. That just shows it ain't about being the quickest on the day. It's about being the one who crosses the line first. And even then, other drivers have been able to get it due to the fact they've been in a DRS fight or they've pitted for fresh tyres. Kasky's normally so far out front, sort of in no man's land, where he's not too far ahead enough to pit, but controlling the race nonetheless. A driver of calculated risks, Kusky. George Russell it. Oh no, Reese. Yeah, what do you reckon about Kusky nicking a record you probably didn't know you had, but you have the consecutive win record that Kusky has equalised as of last round and can break alongside the win record. But yeah, that's what I thought happened, to be fair, seeing the car at the outside. I was on board with it, but switched to Lazy like maybe 3 or 4 corners before. Still technically equal all time, and it's still technically more of a feat. You got 5 wins that season in an 8-win calendar, so your average points is probably one of the best all time in Div 1. I'll calculate the averages at some point. Yeah, next season is splitting up because of the cost cap. Move to Ferrari bus. Sammy finishes his outlap then. Goes to the off-board camera. See what FOM is cooking for us around this track. See if there's any usable camera angles for battling. There's a bit of traffic there from a Red Bull who dives out of the way very nicely. Sammy slams on the brakes through there. He's going to pick up a lovely tow from the back of this Williams here. That'll be Koch exiting the pits. There's another one. Absolute traffic madness here around Singapore. Sammy, look wide of the apex there. Rain is +0 minutes away. Rain is about to start, is the message from Kevin. Unless I'm being baited here, we may see rain in quali. All the leaders indeed have gone out. They normally like to wait a little bit for that second lap, maybe a couple minutes wait, but no, they are out straight away. And so this is crucial. In the grand scheme of things, rain is falling around the streets of Singapore. Get your lap times in, people, because they may well be the last that you can get in. It is now a full out, mad push to get to the line for those on out laps, because their time is running out. They have about maybe a minute or two before the track starts to lose performance here. It will peak a little bit now as Sammy goes P7. Decent lap from him. This is not going to be the average qualifying where we have a fight for pole at the end of the session. We have rain around Singapore. Incredible scenes. Kusky, George, Quattro, Koch all starting their flying laps, and look at how tight this train is heading into turn 1. That might be invalid for Quattro, who's up behind his teammate now, who's pushing on, and invalid Kasky has invalidated his lap. So George, who's a little bit ahead of this, will stick with him this lap. What's the sector 1 split? Not looking good. He's 4 tenths down the track, rapidly falling away from the leaders here. Indeed, look, the understeer, the general slip of the front tyres. He's getting wheel spin left, right and centre. He's backed out of this lap. There is no way that George Plaster is going to improve on that time. Indeed, he's backed out of push mode. So, unless anyone has got a Leclerc Brazil lap from 2018, we will not see any improvements in qualifying, and that will be your grid set. Jackie doesn't improve. Hampan's in the pits. Ironland is down on his time, and Tronzic's just pit. Sammy's down. Andreas is doing a flex spin because of a spin in there. Koch is down by half a second. And look at that horrendous understeer. So George, Kasky, Quattro will all dive into the pits then. And although not official, Kasky Boo, pole position yet again around the streets of Marina Bay. That banker lap was not just a banker lap. It was an all-out one-shot quali session for 90% of the drivers on our grid today. Indeed, drivers retiring from the session in the pits then. Kasky, Quattro, George, your top 3. Red Bull 1-2. Yet again, the wingman dynamic gonna pay dividends here. Koch P4, decent for the Williams drivers. Ironland scrapes the top 10, further down for the other Williams. But the lead driver in 4th, Lazy, again leading Alfa Romeo up to 5th. Andreas 6th. Sammy Do in 7th, decent lap late on. It started raining about midway through his lap, so he did good to keep it calm and composed under pressure. And Tronzic 8th, time to find for him there. I'm very sure of that. Despite the rain, he was only 2 tenths down, so there was a lot more time in that lap for Intronzic. FIFA's P9. Ironland, of course, P10. Hampan just outside the top 10 in the Ferrari. Jackie 12th. Reese in 13th after the retirement. Edvir 14th, but if Edvir can set a lap, he will go above Reese. Due to the lack of time, lap time from Reese. But I think everyone in agreement that everyone will retire from session here in the pits so we can get going 5 minutes sooner. What an intense 12 minutes we had there. We've got a couple more drivers who haven't quite cottoned on yet. Sure, everyone will be screaming in the Discord for people to retire. There's a car going out. That will be Edvir. Although people might be a bit frustrated with this. Ah, no, he retires on pit exit. Okay. Fair play, Edvir. Just waiting for Sammy and Ironland to retire. Ironland's probably having a smoke break. And Sammy as well, yet to retire. What happened, Fig? Rain with 7 minutes left in qualifying meant that the first laps were the only laps. And what a banker Kasky got. 2.5 tenths the gap to his teammate who was saying it'll be close. Well, that banker lap was something incredible from Kasky. Yet again, puts his name at the top of the timing sheets. And for those who do not know, with A5 in Division 2, who's just shown up in chat, as I've literally said his name. Down that lap was for all the kids out there. Kasky, yeah. Yeah, with A5 on the cusp of the Div 2 win record, he needs one more there. Kasky has 4 in a row, and that has equalled Reese's record. And he has 6 in a row, equaling George's record and the record all the way from the first season by Zaki. A name that many OGs will know. I don't think I caught him. I caught him just as he was leaving, to be honest. When I joined around season 5, 6 time. As we wait then to get going. History beckons for Kusky. It's going to be a message that I'm going to say a lot today, because you cannot understate how incredible it is to not just be staring a win record and consecutive win record down in the same race, but in Division 1 that's been so hotly contested. The stars have aligned for Kusky tonight, and all he has to do is convert. He has 29 points. Red Bull are in the fight in Division 3 as well, but I do not believe they are leading. Andreas gets disconnected. Let me get him an invite back straight away. Once again, a reminder, if you don't have the HRA League account added on Xbox or on EA, same name as the stream, HRA League. What are you doing? Come on. Just allows you for, if you get a disconnect, unless things are really, really chaotic, then we can get you an invite back seconds after you disconnect. Christian Horner said some other things, Kevin, but I dare not say them out loud on a live stream. What's Andreas joins and leaves again? Of course, everyone by now, if you don't know what's going on with the Horner situation, and you want to know it in a joking matter, if you haven't heard of the YouTuber RPM or Rocket Powered Mohawk, watch his video. YouTube has taken it down twice so far, I think. It's oh god. The Horn Dog Files, if you're looking for the video name. And that tells you all you need to know. The infamous File 76, the Horn Dog itself. Let's move the subject on to the race. I know I was the one who brought that up, but yeah, ADHD brain. No, must not say. Oh, this is the bestest boss man. A5 better not be doing stuff like that. As we are on for 5 red lights, we can finally move on from that subject into the subject of the race. It's lights out and away we go. Decent start for Kusky. Decent start for Quattro. A better one for George, who's opted for the soft tyre here. Runs off the track a little bit. It's side by side with Koch. Further in the background, Sammy and Intronsic side by side. Pardon me, Andreas still not able to take control of his car. Further back, there is an Alpine Intronsic still side by side with Sammy. He gets the move done. Further back, there doesn't seem to be any fighting, but the McLarens are now side by side as Sammy may lose another position here. He's hit the curb, understeered into his teammate. Good recovery from the both of them. Sammy, though, dropping down the field. He has gone to the penultimate places. in the field. That's into the wall goes Andreas, out of the session just moments after retaking control of his car, and safety car is deployed. George held off Koch. Lazy P5 and Tronzik with a decent start. Reese as well. An incredible start from Reese. Wow. That is something special. You don't get to see that very often. Up 6 places then. Ironland up 2. Jackie up 3. Pardon me. Edvir up 2. But one of them crashed and one of them got involved in a couple incidents. One with his teammate and one, I'd assume, with Andreas. Hampan leaves the session. I'll get him an invite back in. Invites and requests. We'll be going green soon, but getting people back in is a priority that we like to keep. Hampan, there's his invite. Indeed, we are green here. Oh, into the wall goes Sammy. This is not a race that Sammy will be having fun over. He's in the pits. That is not what you want to do. He left the server last time round because of how his race ended up going. He will not be happy of this, but truly he just needs to hang in there and hope that the better times come in these races. We saw recoveries from poor strategies and poor lack of pace from first and second in the Div 2 championship, so if they can do it, certain that Sammy could comfortably do that. Yep. Another invite for Hampan. Sent a couple for you. Apologies for missing that for a little second. Edvir close in on the back of Jackie, who's up with Ironland. And Tronzik on the back of Lazy, who's 1.4 off of Koch, who's 1.2 off of these guys, the leading trio. One of which, might I add, who is on soft compound tyre. I might add as well, in case he's watching, Raven, apologies for missing all your overtakes. I saw your message in chat about 11:30 the night after the race, and I thought I'd better not respond because I'll end up having a massive conversation and screwing myself over for work the next day. But yeah, watching a bit of stream, and I was like, I didn't even know you got to second until the penultimate lap. That sort of thing. So apologies for that. Raven, of course. Brilliant drive from him. Poor quali. Covered it up to second in the race. Broke the Williams 1-2. Hampan rejoined the session. He's got a task to do now. So he just needs to get his head down, settle into a comfortable groove, start to bang in them consistent lap times, and he'll find himself on the back of Edvir very swiftly. Oh, this fight here between Reese, Lazy and Intronsic. 3 cars all fighting it out for P5 here. 3 cars fighting for P1, 3 cars fighting for P5. 2 cars fighting for P8. And 2 for P12, so we've got a battle for 12. A battle for 8th, a battle for 5th, and a battle for 1st. Quite the task list here for me to follow, but I'd rather it be full than empty. But it is Singapore, so action is not aplenty. It's all about playing that strategical game, working out how your opponent defends, and playing the long game with fights. That's not the long game, that's the facing the wrong way game for Ironland. Down the inside, left no room, be it from a dive bomb, or be it lack of awareness from the driver in front. I'm not sure, so I can't really comment on that, but that is Ironland rotated from a points paying position. He just cannot escape this luck. Whenever I stream, he doesn't get points. The moment I don't stream the race, it will be points for Ironland. Apologies again for the Div 2 stream cutting out 2 the Williams and pin tilter. I cooked up a masterpiece after that, and then realised that my stream had died. So the last few words, FIFA's has no front wing, so the last few words of the stream are something about Williams, and cut up halfway through saying it, so just Willy was the last word of the stream, which for anyone who's immature like myself, they'd probably laugh at. This battle starting to spread out a little bit, starting to distance. Quattro's been passed by George on the softs. That was inevitable. George looking to make the most of that tyre. Both are using overtake here. Both know this is crucial. So George up into second. Overtake being used. Peters is retired from the session. This would be poor timing for a safety car. Does Quattro sling it back up the inside? He doesn't quite. So George looking to make inroads on them softs, and he has to. He has to get into the lead and start to pull a gap here for there to be a chance of this two-stop strategy working out for him. He's relying heavily on safety cars. There's not been a safety car after FIFA's crash. No front wing on that McLaren, of course. Which I saw but didn't say, like a dum-dum. Apologies, he yawned midway through saying that. So then, Quattro has been passed by George, who has quickly closed back into the DRS range of Kuski. He's done a little bit of ERS to stick with him here, as he rightfully should, because he gets within that second, he'll start naturally gaining time without needing to use the 160 horsepower extra deployment from the hybrid. More like 100, because it does naturally deploy down the straights. Used to be able to play about with that before F1 2020. The RS mode was massive in league racing. That's where wheel players were so supreme compared to pad players at any track, any setting, because they could just play about the ERS settings for a corner. Could not do that on pad. But you could, but you'd be in a war. Is George looking to close in on Kuski, further back. Oh well, right behind Quattro, sticking with this fight. Still alive. Now it is for P4, as there's been a mistake for a driver in there, lazy. I believe it was. These three cars separated by very fine margins here. Reese looking to continue the incredible comeback journey that he's been on so far. He's been a staple Division 1 driver. Is probably one of the most experienced Division 1, if not the most experienced Div 1 driver on the grid. He does have a title to his name as well, and it's great to see him still competing well over a year and a half, 2 years after he joined the league. Well before my time, Reese was here. I joined, I believe, for the first season as HRA. I believe. This fight. Keeping well in, as George must have made a mistake somewhere in the mix, because Quattro is all over the back of him. DRS open, and to the inside goes Quattro, and he retakes P2 from George. There must have been some sort of mistake for the Mercedes. I'd like a better camera angle to see. Oh, to see this fight kicking off for P4. Nearly forced into the wall, Koch, in the fight with Reese there. It was close. It was very tight. His Hampan spun in the mix as well. That'll promote Ironland up to a point position. Hampan said he had to get his head down and get into a rhythm. Struggling there, obviously, with the spin. starting to be dropped by this pack. Might be mentioned as well is on the hard compound of time, sticking with this little neat battle for P4 that came up to a boiling point, it must be said, between Reese and Koch there, with a bit of contact. Controls it. Currently controls it. Koch right on the limit of DRS. He has it, but he is now out of it, so 3 was, what was 3 is now 2. And Quattro settles into a rhythm in second. George is unable to take the position there, and this is the closest fight on track then. Look like a bit of snap-on entry for Reese there. Not scintillating stuff so far from Singapore, but we know that it can change with a snap of a finger and the detachment of a wheel. Singapore can go from meh to unspeakable levels of peak. We don't have that right now, but we do have a couple fights though. Fight for 4th and a fight for 2nd. So quite major positions. Ed Veer as well is close up to the back of Jackie in the mix as well. Might we see a move for P8 here? Ed Veer certainly going to try in the AlphaTauri. The 2 Alphas. Of course, the last season we have these 2 Alphas. Now V-Carb or Racing Bulls. I'll call them Racing Bulls, honestly. RB isn't right. RB as a short, yeah, but the Racing Bulls car just rolls off the tongue better than the RB car. And of course, Alfa Romeo going to stake kick Sauber F1 team. Kick stake Sauber F1 team. Oh, snap! In the wall, Ed Veer. That is the snap of a finger and the snap of oversteer that I was talking about. That can change this race. No safety car from it, but no front wing as a result. Unable to catch the slide before the AlphaTauri saw and got a bit intertwined with the inside barrier there on the exit of turn 3. No front wing on that wagon. Big understeer. And Ireland can now see P9 up the road despite the spin while fighting for the further up positions. He can see it now. Just have to be slow and careful here. He would have picked up, there's no front wing on that car. Clearly losing the rear from a lock up there. Ireland, I believe he uses onboard cam here. Out the way goes Ed Veer. Incredible sportsmanship. I'd like to give that a shout out. It's beautiful to see that. No point in defending. Ed Veer lets Ireland pass due to the lack of front wing on his car. And George still hangs on to the back of Quattro, but it is starting to be less like George pushing Quattro around the track, or more like him actually hanging to the back of the Red Bull and using him for the DRS effect as Kusky prances, dances and flies off into the distance in the Red Bull. There are records being broken today if he holds this position, but he still has 21 laps of Marina Bay and a commentator's curse that I'm trying my best to dodge. As Ed Veer into the pits, exit the pit lane. And will rejoin P11, but quite away from any fight. Indeed, behind Hampan, who's on the mediums. But Hampan has to pit again. Ed Veer does not. So George, this might be the last lap he gets DRS from Quattro, to be quite honest. It's Koch and Lazy fighting it out. The battle for P4 has settled down a bit, and into the pits comes Koch. Front wing damage on that, Williams. Just about pick it up. Indeed, as he goes into the pit lane, we'll see it. No front wing on that wagon. Lazy upper position because of it. And some pressure off the back of Reese. The only real fight on track right now, this. And it's less of a fight of positions, more of a fight of George trying to hold on. Once again, I said it in Division 2, but apologies for the sharp words towards Georgia, Austria over the Kusky collisions. I never mean to, not said anything about it, but I want to clarify. If I sound like I'm being a little bit dramatic and sharp, that's because I'm commentating. At the end of the day, it's heat of the moment stuff. And I know, and I speak from experience and say that it happens at the end of the day. Some nice discussions actually about the incident at Canada, which if you're in the Discord, I highly recommend watching through and giving us your thoughts on that from a couple of races ago. Because for me, different incidents. First one was more of a racing incident, but George picked up a penalty last time round for his infringements, 5 seconds that didn't affect his race time. So Reese still on the back of Intronsic. He's closed back up after losing it out. Now the hard tyres are starting to become the more valuable tyre in terms of extracting the most lap time out of these cars. Medium tyres, of course, peak nicer, but then quickly, well, not quickly, they drop off. Decent all-round tyre, but the hard tyre, longevity, they will do the same lap times for, what, 18, 19 laps straight. Let me clarify, I said 18, 19, not 80, 90. Those are two different totals. One would be the total for Le Mans, and one would be the total for a Grand Prix. I'm saying that with how robust the hard tyre is in real life. Wouldn't be a surprise if someone managed to take it that far at a low wear track. Or Saudi. As into the pits comes Quattro. First car into the pit lane. Puts on the hard compounded tyre, going for the one-stop strategy here. George going for the two. Reese is right up on the back of Intronsic here. Looking to see, opened up the line a little nicer through turn 2 there. George will be staying on board as much. It's just the off-board cameras are absolute ass at this track. As indeed he is closer than ever this time round. He might look for a move here, but I think he's happy with the medium runner just pulling him along. Biding his time. Quattro comes out with clean air. That means the leaders will do the same then. And you'd expect to see George sometime soon, unless he's actually extended that soft to go into the same strategy as everyone else, which would be just a George thing to do. Wide there for him though, in his attempt to push on and recover some time out of Quattro. This fight still very much sort of slowly raging on. I'd say it's not incredible, it's more of a battle of the strategies. As Kusky into the pits, you might expect to see George follow. Reese dives into the pits, and indeed Intronsic dives into the pits, sorry, and indeed George does follow into the pit lane then. Goes the Mercedes. Quick tyre change. Will it be 2.6 seconds? Whoa. Didn't say, but I can guarantee you it is 2.6 or 2.8, whatever it is, for the perfect pit stop. Yellow flag further back for Sammy. A safety car right now would not do much good. Is there still a front wing on that McLaren? Looks like it. Well, Sammy looks to recover some form of points from this race. Hampan has to pit. Again, Edvir does not. A reminder, the car behind. So that's the car who's really got beat, but he is really on a knife edge. Not happy with the way that car's handling. Trying to extract the most out of a car that wants him dead is the message that I'm getting here from them steering inputs. As indeed, Edvir has massively closed up now. Tyre temperatures as well, not very nice. Sammy, like me on controller, he's very stabby and jabby with his inputs. As here comes Edvir to the inside, takes a position on Sammy. Jackie and Koch, not really a fight going on there, but change the position. Jackie down to P8, steadily slipping into the grasps of Ironland here. Sammy looks to hold on to the back of Edvir. Quite sure he's up there with Kusky actually, who's lost multiple seconds in the pit stop phase. These two will try and work together now. George might try to make that medium go to the end as well, which might create an interesting dynamic with Intronsic, who, due to the penalty, nicked a P2 actually last time round. So congrats to Intronsic on that. His highest finishing position this season. Will help him in the championship. Jackie into the pits then finally. About to release his Ironland. Still 5 seconds a gap between them two, but it was shrinking due to the old mediums compared to the old hards. Of course, old mediums at the time for Jackie and old hards for Ironland. Old hards, sorry, for Ironland. But now it is new hards for Jackie, and he will look to cut back into the time lost. Then he'll be tenths, if not seconds, quicker every lap than Ironland right now. But over the race stint, Ironland will refine that time on the mediums as Lazy into the pit lane goes the Alfa Romeo. The last of the medium runners dives into the pit lane then. He has gone half the race distance on that tyre, which he'll be quite chuffed with, considering the quali position and how the race has gone so far. He will be sort of content with this. A little bit of room maybe to push on, as the leaders are working together here. Reese going long as well because he's on the hards. Another car going long with the Ironland. Sammy as well technically, but he's at a pit stop for a new front wing. And breathe. A bit of calm here for the next wave of action. Quite often we wait for them. For quite a while around here. So many chances for puns with the Marina Bay and with the waves, but I did that in good too. I'll save it. I might sneak the odd one in there though. Lazy. He's right on the back of Ironland now. Got to be patient. He knows the car ahead's got dead tyres. We'll see a 13-second gap ahead and so it's not really his fight. With Koch. His fight with Jackie, who's a couple of seconds behind his teammate. George goes fastest. as Koch has passed Intronsic as well, that and moved on track for position. Quattro and Kusky still work together. Here comes Lazy as Ironland peels off to one side and dives into the pit lane then. So Intronsic and Koch, a fight that is going on. Kusky and Quattro, if you could call it a fight, but I guarantee you they are working together for that one. These two cars not working together in the slices though, the Alpine and the Williams. Looking to trade blows in the fight for P5. Edveer takes 10th from Ireland, who has dived into the pit lane then. And Pan has to pit again as a reminder. Edveer can go to the end, so we might see a battle between Edveer and Ireland at some point. Jackie and Hampan, a fight that's going to happen very soon as well. That's closed under a second. So a fight for P8, a fight for P5 and a fight for P2 here is what we've got on the plate. A fight for P11 as well, as Sammy is right up on the back of Ironland. Might look to make a move, but Ironland's fresh mediums will be coming into their temperature range about now. And just like Hamilton watching the McLaren of Norris in Jeddah, through the corners, Ironland has disappeared. Jackie all up on the back of Hampan here, goes to the outside of the Ferrari. Into the braking zone we go. Hampan concedes the position. Jackie up to P8. Hampan, the only car for penalty right now around Marina Bay, is down to 9th in the Ferrari. So nightmare race for Ferrari and McLaren. 2 points on the board for Ferrari, zilch on the board for McLaren. A DNF apiece. One car 9th, one car 12th. Alfa Romeo, solid, typical Alfa Romeo type of race. Drove their own races, had a couple battles here and there, and find themselves in a mediocre points playing position. The points are points at the end of the day, and you don't help your team out in the constructors by sitting P11 every race, unless you are in a backmarker car, in which case countback truly matters. But we race equal cars here, that stuff doesn't really matter all that much. Countback often in league racing, due to the shortness of the seasons, often comes down to number of wins, never really number of seconds and thirds. A bit of a wiggle there for Koch. He does know that Intronsic's behind. He'll also know his cars are a little older, so they will start to see their day very late on. But Intronsic, I think, is just going to sit behind now and work with his fuel load a little bit, lifting a little bit down the straight because of the DRS and slip shoe. Ultimately will mean he saves fuel and can push the finish fully. Those don't look like the movements of the car, who is settling for P6 here. Indeed, they look like the movements of a car who is looking to get that P5 for the Alpine team, get more points on the board for himself. Absolutely carrying the Alpine squad, who came, I believe, first in the Constructors 2 seasons ago, with Kusky and George at the wheel, which, oh my god, that's a combination that's up there with Kusky and Quattro this season. And that I will speak more on in the last races of the season, over the team dynamics back then. Of course, I'll save that all for the speech and the closing things that I'm working up. Not really a speech. Bit of poetry in F1. Truly poetry in motion. As Reese passed then by Kusky and Quattro. Tronzik still in the fight. And he is all over the back, shifting really early to save fuel. Lifting coast from Tronzik. He's saving fuel at a rate he feels happy with. And he's keeping stern with the back of Crotch, despite short shifting left, right and centre to save fuel. Safety cars normally arrive here. We've got none so far. I would say we do have a close fight further down, but Sammy has disconnected, I believe. I'll give him an invite in case he wants back in, but I'm not sure he does. I'm not sure how long he's been gone as well, but might as well give him an invite back. Yeah, he is in the session. He was just ghosted. My apologies, he is just ghosted for lapping, so I just assumed he'd been disconnected. Especially no offence considering the gap. It's not been a race to remember for the McLaren, and I had, speaking of remembering, I'd completely forgotten he was sitting 12th ages ago. So Einland indeed has closed in on the back of Edvir, a fight that a couple laps ago I was saying could have come to the surface. Reese has also been passed by George. But a routine move on short as Reese looking to go long onto the softs here. Showing how tyre management is done, going long on the tyre that can take it with the fuel loads, and going on to softs with a lower fuel, so lower deg, more rubber in track, so less deg, sorry for the first one. So yeah, lower fuel load, lower deg, more rubber in track, less deg. Reese gets the 5 seconds speeding into the pits. That won't help him out one bit. You can see Intronsic still got fuel to save, but as soon as we see that go green, I reckon we will see Intronsic attack the streets of Marina Bay here as Reese drops down the field. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out. Surely some fights will happen there. Reese on medium, so he can push that tyre hard to the end, not have to worry about temperatures or management. Apologies for missing Edvir passing, being passed by Erland, sorry. So he's now up to the final point position. Pan with the time penalty out there as well. So this, again, quite a routine race, but it's throwing up some entertainment thus far. Pan into the pits, Ironland up another place, as is Edvir back into the points. Remarkable recovery from qualifying last on the grid, not even getting a time set to P10. Despite the chaos, he will take points at the end of the day. He can go to the end of the race now, but Hampan will be challenging on their mediums maybe towards the end of the race if Hampan can fly, but never mind. 22 seconds in 8 laps is not going to happen. Oh wow, 8 laps left this race. It's absolutely flown by, and I've got to be honest, and I'm breaking the 4-4 a little bit here again, but it's so hard to keep races like this entertaining. But when you've got the dynamic of a decently healthy grid going on and fights here and there, HRA always dishes up a couple of fights. It's been quite an interesting one to watch. As this has been the forefront of the closest gaps. But enter Reese into the mix. 3 who've been fighting it all race long, continue. And Reese not even in the same galaxy as Intronsic. Absolutely flies past and is now all over the back of Koch. Looks to the outside. Naughty, naughty. Round the outside he goes. That is absolutely weldy. Levels of move. Incredible. I said he was on another galaxy compared to Intronsic, but that was... he's in another dimension. Off into the distance goes Reese after going around the outside at that 90-degree right-hander. A move nigh on unheard of in league racing. Despite the tyre difference, that takes a big pair. Reese up to P4 and will now look to extend that 5 seconds and cement a solid P4 drive and an incredible recovery after qualifying P13. Yellow flags out, Sammy retires in the pits. Commiserations to Sammy, that is a horrific Singapore Grand Prix, but being a controller player. I know, I tried to do some time trials here last night, and my god, it's difficult. There is why Reese has been flying, despite going side by side for plenty of that lap. He sets the fastest lap of the race. Transit still hangs on with Koch. Is he starting to have fuel concerns? He's having to do massive lift and coast here. Sammy leaves the session. Once again, commiserations. Not his night tonight, but at a track. At tracks later on in the calendar, he will be comfortable. That is when we'll see the true pace of Sammy Do 888. For now, it ends P12 and a double DNF for McLaren, and pan out the points as well. So 2 teams occupy the last 4 places then. And it's the illustrious teams of McLaren and Ferrari. Can they improve over the off-season? That will be a question on everyone's tongues. This fight, less of a fight now, more of an uphill struggle for Intronsic as Reese goes faster still. That is a car that is absolutely flying here. He's pulled that gap in laps. We'll get rid of the tyre graphic now. We know what's going on there, and penalty graphic will be the thing that I will be focusing on from here on out. Back to the compound with a corner cutting penalty, and Reese with a 5-second spin in the pits. The only penalties, and medium struggling with the turn in there. For Reese, again, he's got to dial back the pace a bit here. Them rear tyres are not happy in the slightest. Close between Ironland and Jackie here. Intronsic and Koch were side by side for a second then. Ironland close up to the back of Jackie. Later on in this race, taking an extra wide line there, Ironland. It's not ideal. Mediums to hards, 2 laps, fresher tyres for Ironland. Red light flashing for Jackie. Here comes Ironland. Can he do it this time round? Can't quite. Jackie holds on, defends. But Ironland is all over the back of the Alfa Romeo, forces him to defend to the inside. Looks to switch back, has the outside line, forces him defensive, looks to the outside. My word, what a move from Ironland. Incredible stuff from the Williams, up to P8. Beautiful racecraft from the old composed head of Ironland. Wow, that is something special from the Williams driver. I'm watching it again on my phone. What an incredible move, outbroke him around the outside, backed out of it a little bit at the apex, thought, screw it, I'm Ironland, I'm going to blast it around the outside. And he is up to P8. Strong recovery drive despite a spin for Ironland. As here comes Intronsic, finally showing that pace that he's had all race along. Side by side he goes with Koch, heading in, they make contact, rear right to front left. contact there between these two. That battle, fireworks being set off, truly, it has to be said. Koch lets Intronsic by in that fight. I'm not sure if he thinks that there's a possibility of an illegal overtake there. I'd argue he was forced off the road by a car that was possibly not making that corner. But whatever the weather, it's invited Lazy into this fight, and he is taking that arms wide open. I think that Intronsic has clocked how quick Lazy was closing up to the back of these guys. Seconds was the gap. Laps to go. They're side by side now yet again. Koch gets back past Intronsic, who is right up sniffing the gearbox oil of Koch. These cars, the gearbox, right at the very back of the car. And you saw crashes like Schumacher at Monaco 22. That was just the gearbox bolt snapping, so that bit that snapped off actually had the gearbox on it. To the outside goes Intronsic, yellow flags. Something's going on. Not sure what it is, but this is what's going on here. An incredible fight between Lazy, Intronsic and Koch. Koch stays ahead for now. Lap 27. Edveer gets a 5 seconds, speeding in the pits. He got 3 seconds and he retires in the pits as well. That was what was going on. A mistake made for Edveer was what the yellow flag was for. So there's an incredible fight going on the last lap of the race. So we'll have to cut away from it. I almost don't want to, but you have to. Because there's been one driver who has been at the head of it all race long, and I'll take a second to admire it as soon as we get through them first few corners. And I know yet no fighting going on. Kuski so far has had an incredible drive, absolute Kuski standards, yet again setting the bar in HRA and pushing it higher and higher every single race. Once again, Reese holds the win record in terms of consecutive wins. Zaki Beast and George hold it in terms of wins in a season. He's on his way to beat it. But for now, this is the fight then. No changes for position as of now. Lazy's made a mistake in the mix as well. That dropped him off the back of this fight. Intronsic dropped the hammer. He's still not got enough fuel to make the end of this race. But if he feels like he's on target, then he is going to go for it. Still short shifting though. This is why I tend not to underfuel, because the amount of time it costs you in saving fuel, 99% of the time, statistically speaking, you're better off fueling tiny bit, maybe 0.1, 0.2 laps over at the conventional track, and then doing a small bit of management just so you can push the revs at some point. That's what I tend to find the best. Or only a set few tracks you can underfuel at. If you underfuel at Zandvoort, you are stupid. But here comes Intronsic. Is he close enough this time round? ERS has been deployed from Koch, unable to make a move there. Tampan passes Jackie, who is into the pit lane. Maybe Barton on a set of softs, get the fastest lap. Or a mistake in there, and a possible front wing change needed. Indeed, new nose cone going on that car. This is the true fight. Ooh, being very aggressive there in Tronzik. There goes the fuel light. It's gone through Tronzik. No more fuel concerns. He's right on the cusp then of having enough fuel to make this race and make the finish line. Leaders are on the penultimate lap then. As this fight still very much raging on. I will have to leave it very soon. I will keep you posted as much as I can. But Kusky is just a lap and a half away from HRA history. But this is side by side. And Tronzik historically good at moves like that. And he shows yet again that he has had this under control the whole time. But we're right on board with him for this lap then. To the off-board camera then. For Kusky. And for what has been a season so far. He's not even won the championship yet, and we're talking about this. He's already shattered the 8-race win record for HRA, which was previously held at 5. So for the first 8 races, he's beaten that. But this is a 12-race season. Rather longer in the format that we do. Round 1 and 2, he took the wins Australia and Belgium. He had a poor race at China and a very unlucky drive-through at UK, which meant that Quattro looked a little more in the mix. Up past there in Hungary, he took the win. In Abu Dhabi, yet again, the win. Canada, he took the win, and Austria last time round. That incredible fight with George throughout the entirety of the race. And he has one more sector to go. This has been yet another drive of the ages from Kusky. Penultimate corner. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now a record-breaking 7th in a row. 7 wins in a season, 5 in a row for Kusky. He breaks the win record. 9 rounds into the season. 12-round season, by the way, and the win record is gone. Kusky at the top. 7 in one season, 5 in a row. History has just been rewritten by Red Bull and by Kusky. A 1-2 from the Red Bull team. And he truly will go down in HRA folklore as one of the best to ever do it. Once again, 7 in a season. He has won 7 out of the 9 races this season. Red Bull, 8 out of the 9. Incredible stuff from Kusky. An incredibly driven race. It was Kusky standards all the way through. Incredible driving. Held the race from the first corner. As soon as he got that nice start, in the back of your mind, you knew it was over. And it is gone. Kusky, now the single most decorated HRA Division 1 driver. He has got the most wins of any driver in a single season in any division. Most wins in a row of any driver in any season. Single season as well. 5 in a row, 7 in one season. It's Kusky. What else can you say? Extends the lead of the championship to 36 points. And he may be able to win this one with 2 to go. So next time round, he might even be able to win. He mathematically can do it. But maths and performance, they're two separate things, but they align with Kuski. And as he takes that trophy on the top step, the 7th of this season, the win record is gone. GG's said from Kevin, saying he really had to push it at the end with the worn tyres and no ABS. A rate of attrition out there, but despite that, Kuski yet again without fastest lap this season, but providing more and more action every time round and proving that you don't need to be fastest lap. You just need to cross the line first. And he has done that 7 times this season. Kuski first, Quattro second. George rounds out the podium in third, top 3 as it was in qualifying. Reese, an incredible recovery to 4th with the fastest lap. Tronzik 5th, Lazy 6th, Koch 7th, Ironland 8th, Hampan 9th, Jackie with the final points paying position, and Edvir and Sammy, Fifas and Andreas all DNF'd. The top 10 were the only finishers out there today. And once again, congratulations to Kuski. I haven't been picking up on it enough this season at how truly incredible he has been. There is more to be said to Kuski's performance in terms of praise, but that I will save for when he inevitably crosses the line to win that title. It's just a matter of when now. When does he do it? Because next round, with 36 points in the lead, he needs to gain, statistically speaking, he needs to gain just 6 points. And then it is done. So a win with Quattro second next time round would actually clinch the title. No, it wouldn't. I'm lying. It is 12 points. So a little less achievable, but still. To be looking at Division 1 and saying, yeah, I might be able to win that by round 10. We are truly witnessing greatness this season. So from my end, thank you for joining us for round 9 of Division 1. History. That's the one word takeaway. And the name put to the new record of consecutive wins and wins in a season is Kuski. So, thank you for joining us. Once again, history tonight. Have a good one, guys. Peace.